Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Deggy again, back with another Disney Lorcana card of the day. Now, today's card of the day is going to be Lady Tremaine, Wicked Stepmother. Lady Tremaine is a 6-cost emerald card. She's not inkable, which means she cannot be placed into your inkwell. She has 1 strength, 5 willpower, and an unknown amount of lore. Unfortunately, she's one of the cards that was revealed through like the Disney Lorcana Twitter, and because of the angle she was at when she was shown, we don't know how much lore she has. So most people are playing her with 2, and I would agree. I do think she has 2 lore. We do see Scar, who's in a similar cost, who also has an ability. He also has 2 lore, so that's why I believe that Lady Tremaine also has 2 lore. I know it's like a weak argument, but I mean, we could say Maurice too, who is also a 6 cost, has 2 lore, and he has 2 abilities, you know, to his card. Lady Tremaine only has 1. So I'm thinking she has 2 lore, and that seems really fair. Now, she has 1 ability, and it's actually pretty good. It's called Do It Again, and it reads, when you play this character, you may return an action card from your discard to your hand. So this is really nice because it's any action card. We've only seen 1 action card in Emerald so far, and that's called The Beast Is Mine, which gives a character Reckless. That's not terrible. We do have some really good action cards in other colors, Dragonfire in Ruby, and we have like Fire the Cannons, and Smash and Steel. And we can't forget about Friends on the Other Side in Amethyst. So there are some really good action cards, and those are only the cards we've seen so far. We only have like 30% of the cards revealed so far. We're not even halfway there. I'm sure we're going to see some really, really good action cards. And with Lady Tremaine, you're able to get those cards back into your hand. I had reviewed Fire the Cannons and the Captain Hook, Captain of the Jolly Roger, together, because being able to have access to your discard pile is really good. And the same also with like Hades, the non-shifted Hades. That Hades is able to get ally cards from your discard pile into your hand. So even though these cards end up in your discard pile, it doesn't mean they're out of the game. And I do really like that. Pokemon, for example, especially when Pokemon first came out, the Pokemon trading card game, there was a card called Item Finder, and I think Lady Tremaine is going to open up that same mentality. Now, I don't think you're going to be playing 1 of a card. I really don't think you should play 1 of a card. There's a good chance, A, you're not going to see it, because we don't have any, say, sufficient tutoring abilities, and what I mean by tutoring is like searching your deck. You know, we don't have any cards that do that, at least right now. And we do have some cards that do draw, but you're going to have to hope that card is near the top of your deck. And also, if you're playing cards like the Detective Mickey or One Jump Ahead, which are both Sapphire, they take the top card of your deck and put it into your inkwell, and you have no idea what that card is, basically all of the time, unless you play a couple other cards where you can like see what's on top of your deck. But in most cases, you have no idea. And you might take that 1 copy of your card and put it right into your inkwell, and you'll never be able to use it the whole rest of the game. So having multiple copies of a card is good. Now, Lady Tremaine gives you even more copies of that card, because you're able to get that card from your discard pile and put it back into your hand, and then be able to play it probably on a future turn, unless it was a cheaper action card or a song card that you could just have a character sing. So there's always that option as well. You could be at, say, 7 resources, 7 ink. You could play Lady Tremaine, get back your Fire the Cannons, and then be able to play your Fire the Cannons again in the same turn. Or you could, you know, play Dragonfire 1 turn. On a following turn, play Lady Tremaine, get the Dragonfire back. Now your opponent's going to think, oh no, whatever I play, or my biggest threat on the board right now, is going to be banished. You know, I need to be careful. And they're going to not want to play characters then, because if they're sitting at like 8 resources or so, maybe they want to play that Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor. But even if they do, you're just going to banish it with your Dragonfire. And that's a good, kind of like a mind game. It's good just to have that in your hand and to let your opponent know that it's also in your hand. So they're going to be very hesitant in playing certain characters. And I do like that. It's very nice. Right now, I think she's pretty decent, like as what we've seen so far. The problem is she needs some really good action cards for her to retrieve. We need to see more cards. We don't have enough emerald cards. We don't have enough ruby cards. We don't know, right? We don't know. She is played in emerald decks because, again, we don't have enough cards. But you can see her use, especially when she's combined with, say, a sapphire. If you're able to play emerald sapphire, you have Develop Your Brain, Let It Go, One Jump Ahead. These are all fantastic cards that you're able to get again just by playing the game. You could put a character down, and now you're like, hey, not only do I have a character who I'm just going to be using for questing now, and she'll probably be able to survive a hit with her 5 willpower, but I've also retrieved an action card from my discard pile that's going to help me even further develop the game, right? You can use that Let It Go again to get rid of one of your opponent's characters. You can have one of your characters sing it, or next turn have Lady Tremaine sing it. You're able to get other cards, like some draw cards, or maybe your opponent has a big character out that if they quest with it, they're going to win. Maybe you target it with The Beast is Mine action card again, force that card to quest so they don't gain lore, and then maybe buy yourself a turn until you can find something else to deal with that card. Just a multitude of options, and those are only the cards we've seen so far. Again, if we see more action cards, especially in green, I think Lady Tremaine is going to be an almost must-have in those decks. Especially if you're unable to search your deck, which I don't think you'll be able to. I think if anything, you're just going to be digging, or like looking at the top X cards of your deck and then grabbing one of them, or just raw card draw. You're just going to draw cards and hope for the best. If you're only able to obtain like one copy of Let It Go, one copy of Dragonfire, right? One copy of Fire the Cannons. If your other color is also green, Lady Tremaine gives you access to that card again. That's really, really good. And that's not counting, of course, other multiples of the card that you might be drawing. But she's really good if you're unable to get multiple copies. You can at least play that card multiple times. And she provides a body on the board that can help you quest and further, help you win, I suppose. Yes, she doesn't really have a high strength. She's really not going to be doing any challenging. But I'm pretty sure she's just meant to come down, get you your action card back, and then start questing to help you win the game. I like that a lot. I think it's a simple mechanic, but it's good. She's never bad. Like by turn 6 or so, you should have at least one action card in your discard pile. She's going to provide value when she comes down. So overall, what would I give Lady Tremaine? One, I think she's a good card. So right now, I do think she's probably like a 7. If I had to rate her in like our little play testing, if you're playing with proxies and stuff, and only because like there's not a lot of support in Emerald. You're not really seeing a lot. If you're playing Emerald just for Lady Tremaine, that's probably not very good. I mean, Emerald does have some good cards like Cheshire Cat, and we have Cruella de Vil is pretty good. I think The Beast is Mine is a pretty solid card. I reviewed that one. It's not too bad. I personally really like. I'm a fan of, say, Ruby and Emerald, because I like being able to shift the really good Aladdin on top of the Emerald Aladdin. So there might be a reason to do that. That's actually one of the decks I have my eyes out. Like once I see more cards, I'm hoping that maybe Ruby Emerald's going to be looking pretty good, but we'll see. But again, right now, probably like a 7. There are some really good targets that you can take with her, but Emerald's not in a good spot because we just don't have enough cards. But I do see her rising up to like an 8, maybe 8.5 or so, maybe a 9, depending on what other action cards we see. Especially if we see some really good action cards that cost, say, 5 or less. So you could play the action card, and then on your following turn, play your Lady Tremaine to get that action card back. That would be pretty good, especially if we have like board clears where we have cards that deal damage to like all characters on the field, or cards that like return all characters to your hand or something like that. You're able to get that card back. So if you're playing against a deck that's trying to go wide, and by going wide I mean playing a bunch of like small costed characters, then Lady Tremaine, you know, with that board clear can really help you control the board and stop your opponent from doing that. But we don't know. We haven't really seen. We might have seen something with Steel, with, you know, there might be Tinkerbell coming out, maybe, but we don't know. It's not 100%. So right now, I do like her. I definitely would keep my eyes on Lady Tremaine as more and more cards get revealed. We definitely got to see her lore, or her lore count, how much she can quest for, but I do think it's about 2, which isn't bad. If it's 1, that would feel really bad. And it's almost like, is it worth it, right, for the ability? But if it's 2, then at least that's really good. But if it's 3, whoa, now we're talking. But I don't think it's 3. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be 2. So overall, I think she's a really good card. She's going to be a 3 to 4 of in Emerald decks, depending on other, you know, non-inkable cards we see. You don't want to have too many non-inkables in a deck because that could be a little rough, but still, the option is there. She's pretty solid. So yeah, keep your eye on Lady Tremaine. I think she's going to do good things for Emerald. So hey, that's it. That's all I got to say about Lady Tremaine. You know, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You know, you stay safe out there, make good decisions, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.